Hey guys, what's up? It's MatchPoint here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you the ultimate operator guide for Amaru in Rainbow Six Siege. So if you do find this video useful, consider dropping a like on the video, and if there are any topics that you would like me to cover next, make sure to comment them down below so I know you're interested. If you do end up having any questions about the video, feel free to ask me them when I am live on Twitch and we can have a conversation about it, or in the Discord, and there are links down below for both of them. I would just like to give a massive thank you to Kaflaw for becoming the first patron over on my Patreon page with the All Access Pass, and it seriously does mean a lot supporting me and I really appreciate it, Kaflaw. Thank you. If you would also like to become a patron and get access to these videos 24 hours early and a lot of other perks, there will be links down below. If you are new around here, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So let's get on into it. Now in this guide, I'm going to be covering everything you need to know about Amaru, which does include her loadout, her desired roles, and as well her ability. In addition to this, there will be lots more tips and tricks along the way which are very useful for you to have. Now the main reason as to why I'm going to be covering Amaru today is because she has gone ahead and received a buff. Now this is part of Steel Wave. When the new changes come out, Amaru did get a buff, which is gonna make her extremely viable now. She's a very good operator to use, especially in competitive play, I would definitely say so. But first of all, we are going to be starting off with Amaru's loadout. Now for Amaru's primary weapons, she will offer you the G8A1, which is going to be that LMG, the light machine gun, or the Supernova, which is a shotgun. Now here, I would recommend you to take either one. There are two different kind of loadouts in a way, if you would call it that Amaru can bring. There are two combinations that do work well with Amaru, and I will be telling you these and why. Now the G8A1 is a fantastic LMG, it really does suit a lot of operators, especially on IQ as well, and it also is on her. Now for Amaru, the G8A1 is going to be a great weapon when you are going to be entry fragging and moving in quickly into sight. Especially when you are going to be running that angled grip on it, it really does help her kit out. Now the Supernova is the alternative weapon here, and the alternative playstyle in my idea. Now this is going to mean that it is going to be a shotgun, therefore for the secondary weapons, which we will move on to very shortly, I'm going to be suggesting that you do take the SMG11 instead of the other shotgun. The G8A1 is definitely an attractive LMG compared to others, and personally I do often go with that one compared to the Supernova. However, the two different combinations that you can use are definitely both viable. Now for the secondary weapons that Amaru will offer you is going to be one being a shotgun, and the other being the SMG11, which is that machine pistol. Now the combinations are going to be either the LMG with the SMG11 or the Supernova with that SMG11. The shotgun here on the secondary weapon, the ITA-12S, isn't going to really be a viable option, as there's no need to go ahead and use it to open those hatches anymore, and I will be explaining why later on when we get to the ability. Instead, rocking that SMG11 will definitely help out. Now the Supernova overall isn't a bad shotgun, it's definitely usable, and combined with that SMG11 it makes a great playstyle, which is going to be that alternative combination that you can use with her. Now for Amaru's gadgets, she will offer you the stun grenade or the claymore here, and I'm going to say it's definitely personal preference. You may be thinking, well, MatchPoint, that stun grenade is clearly a lot better than the claymore, and it suits Amaru a lot better for her playstyle. Well, I would say the claymore can definitely be usable here, especially when you are going to be gaining that early map control early on in the game with Amaru. Now, what you do when you go in with Amaru and you are going to be gaining that map control, you technically haven't cleared the other areas. You are quite frankly going into new territory, therefore there could very well be a roamer on a different floor waiting for you. This way, a prime use of the claymore here would be to go ahead and set it up for that flank watch, as obviously you haven't cleared every single area. Now a prime example of this would be on Bank, and now I did show this trick off in the 5 tips and tricks for the new season of being Steel Wave. If you would like to check out more of those tricks for Steel Wave, then there will be a card in the top right if you do require that information. But anyway, for that trick I didn't apply the claymore to it because we weren't specifically talking about Amaru in that situation. But what you can do on Bank, if you don't already know, is use your Gara hook to go ahead and get in early right outside archives. But then what you can do with this trick is go ahead and make an early push onto blue stairs, as you can very easily get onto it. Then on blue stairs you can go ahead and set up your claymore. Now this is quite frankly going to single out that flank. The good thing about this is once you've gone ahead and done that, there aren't really going to be many opportunities for you to get flanked. The claymore will be covering your back, and all you have to do now is go in and clear server, which is a great opportunity to get in early, gain that map control, shut it off, and then move forward with the push. Now again, the claymore is very situational, and it works in some situations, but in others, the stun grenades will be the better option. So make sure to keep that in mind, as you can use those stun grenades for when you are going to be making that early push forward and using it to clear and flush defenders out. Remember, it's unlikely that you will flash them. Now on occasions you obviously will, it does happen. However, it is quite easy as a defender to go ahead and avoid that stun grenade. Instead, what you should be using it for is to flush defenders out of that position and cause them to move and rotate to a different one. Now next up, we are going to be moving on to Amaru's desired role. For Amaru's desired role, I think it's quite clear for me to see that Amaru is going to be the entry fragger. Amaru is going to be someone who can get in the map early on in the game, in the round, and go ahead and dominate that map control. What she can do is clear areas early on for her team and potentially flush out any roamers. Now the key thing to remember when you are going to be taking over that map control is to gain it in little bits. Wait for the backup of your team so they can get the refrag onto the roamer if needed, as there are most likely going to be a roamer lurking around and you aren't free to go ahead and roam up there. And this is purely due to the fact that when you enter that building early on in the round, you aren't going to have that territory cleared. You're only going to have little bits cleared here and there, so you must be wary of this. Now we are quickly going to be moving on to Amaru's ability. Now if you don't already know, on the previous season, which was Void Edge, Amaru's ability looks something like where she would go ahead and lock on with her Gara hook, and then the barricade would instantly break when she hasn't actually gone through the barricade, pretty much alerting the defenders that she's going to be coming through. And as well, beforehand, Amaru had to open the hatches with her shotgun, as that was the only way. But now, after the buff that Amaru's received with Steel Wave, it is going to mean that when she locks on with her Gara hook, the glass is going to break, obviously. However, the barricade will not break instantly. The barricade will only break when Amaru actually goes through it, so it makes her timings and the ability animation a lot smoother. And as well, Amaru's Gara hook can lock onto any soft hatches in the map and instantly go through them and break it. Now Amaru is definitely going to be more viable, however it will be really interesting to see how Amaru is going to fare out in competitive play and in Pro League play. Amaru's playstyle is quite frankly quite quick and causes you to rush in, making sure that you're catching the defenders off guard when they are still setting up and you're in the building then. Now again, I feel like she will be strong in competitive play in certain situations. Not every map is going to work and not every site will work for Amaru. However, some are really going to be quite effective, like I did mention with that strategy spot on Bank, and there are a few others where you can instantly get into the map or the site with the hatches and breaking them open. Now to use Amaru effectively, you really have to be quite quick with getting in the building or getting to where you want to be. Whether it's rappelling onto an early ledge using the Gara hook, or simply getting into a window or a room or an area near site and then moving forward. You need to do it quick and make sure that you are there whilst the defenders might be still setting up, or quite frankly not ready. Amaru isn't really going to be a team-based operator. Instead, she is going to be one that's going to really be playing solo, relying on those kills and getting early into sight. However, you can use her to gain that map control and help out for your team. Remember, she's not going to be useful in every single situation in Siege, especially when it comes to competitive play. There are going to be certain strategies that you will be able to pull off with her for certain sites and maps. Now if you do want to be a bit more strategical with your Amaru push and make sure that you aren't dying early on, however it is a bit of a risk, but what you can do, and I would recommend it, is going to be setting up your drone in the room or the area where you are going to be using your Gara hook to get into early. This way when you are about to go into it, you can quickly just check on your drone, flick on it for a second to make sure it's clear, or get some intel. But do remember that Amaru's ability does have a cooldown, so you can't use it instantly at the start of the round. It's only a few seconds for this cooldown to go ahead and take place, and for it to be over, which means it will give you a little bit of time to check the drone. Amaru is definitely a strong operator in certain situations. She isn't going to be useful everywhere for competitive play, however, for certain pocket strategies, she can definitely be useful and help your team out, gaining that early map control and potentially picking up an early kill. I would recommend you to pick her up, go and test her out, try some of these pocket strategies, and then move from there and take her into that competitive play on certain maps. If you do need any more tips and tricks, whether it's operator guides for Ace and Malusi, new steel wave tricks. I've covered lots of them on the channel, and there will be an end screen at the very end of the video with those videos. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed. If you did, or you found this video useful, then make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more tips and tricks like this. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.